Hi everyone. This is going to probably be my first video on this channel. And I'm going to talk about books. Mainly sci-fi. I enjoy fantasy too, but books have become a pretty big passion of mine for the last, they've always been a passion, but for the past year or so, I've really thrown myself into reading, especially science fiction. And I spent the last, I don't know, 20, no, probably, yeah, about 12 months. Let's just round it out at a year. Reading, I had a 25 book challenge for myself. Me and one of my good friends started it as a way to curb our book buying, because as you can see behind me, this is just one of my shelves that I have here in my room that's just stacked high with books. I love buying books. I really enjoy reading books, but it was becoming a hobby that I knew I needed to at least slow down on. So he and I agreed that we would read 25 books before we bought another one. I can't tell you that I finished the challenge without buying books because I went out and bought more books, but it did really help me to center my focus on books that maybe I wasn't dying to read, or it would help me just push through a moment of, man, I'd really like to put this down and read something else. And I know some people, on BookTube, just in general that are readers, might be like, if you're not enjoying it, just set it down. You don't have to finish it. In fact, you can pause it. You can start another one. And while I agree with that, I've never not finished a book as far as I can remember. I've always at least pushed through till the end because I weirdly feel like I owe it to the author to at least get to the end of their work and make a fair judgment on whether I liked it or not. And so, in essence, this challenge, this 25 book challenge, and I have a big stack of, I think, all 25 that I read sitting next to me. I won't go through each one. That's not what this video is for. But this video is intended to encourage and let those of you out there know, those of you who love reading out there know that it's just good for you to sit down and read. Surprise, a person on BookTube is telling you it's good to read. But I just wanted to get on here and talk about what I learned in the last year, which was a lot of things, but I guess, this is going to be just like stream of consciousness. I'm just going to talk to you about it. I'm not going to spend too much time on each of the books, but I'm going to show you what I read in the last year or so. And I've read more books than this in the last year. Did I comb my hair? I don't think my hair might be looking really goofy right now. I've already started, oh well. I've read more than this in the last year. I'd have to go look. There were books that I started prior to this challenge that I finished, but this encapsulates kind of just this moment in my life where I read some books I liked, I read some books I didn't like, I read some books I absolutely loved, and looking at my shelf behind the camera right here, thinking about the conversations I've had with friends who have also read a few of these books, I'm just overjoyed in the fact that I can engage in reading again. I'm on a couple Discord servers where I talk to people who also read the niche vintage sci-fi that I love. It's really given me a warm feeling in my heart for reading again. And I missed that for a long time. So, I read, I'm just going to go through them. Sirens of Titan by Kurt Vonnegut Jr., one of my favorite books that I've ever read. That was beautiful. I read a Heinlein, not a long Heinlein, thank goodness. I think this book's not even 150 pages. Day After Tomorrow, that book kind of sucked. It was maybe my least favorite of all of them. Nova by Delaney. This was awesome. I really enjoyed that book. I kind of slogged through Lord of Light by Zelazny, and I ended up liking it, but that was an interesting one that has caused me a little bit of pause in reading another Zelazny, because it was a challenging read. Nostrilia, I think these are in focus, and they're, hopefully you can see the covers really okay. Nostrilia was a beautiful book. Cordwainer Smith is awesome. My first Joanna Russ, we who are about to, almost butchered that. That's a really dark book that I enjoyed a lot. Classic 1984, great book. Me and my friend Luke read A Canticle for Leibowitz together. I absolutely love this book. Some wouldn't even classify it as sci-fi. Some might classify it as like literary fiction with, some science elements. But I loved that book. The feeling that it gave me, the reading experience was fun from that one. A Malzberg called Herovitz's World. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. That was a disturbing one, but I'm intrigued by Malzberg. A Stanislaw Lem called Return. Is it from the Stars? Yep. Return from the Stars, with an awesome cover. Lem was fun to read. That was a cool book. The Dispossessed, one of the all-timers. My first Le Guin, I really enjoyed that one. One of the last books I've read in that challenge, so pretty recent. I'm looking forward to reading more from her. This one, A Voyage to Arcturus, which some might call fantasy, some might call weird fiction. I don't know what this book was. Still don't really know. It had me thinking about it a lot after I finished it. Interesting book. My first James Blish, called Vor. Wasn't over the moon about that one, but I have a lot of Blish that I can read that I've heard it's going to be better than that one, I think. This Beautiful Daw by Tanith Lee, which was awesome. Don't Bite the Sun. I have a lot more Daws by Lee back here I'm excited about. Good Old War of the Worlds. I took Bookpild's suggestion after he talked about this, I think in his last top 15 video. And I'm glad I read this one. I had never read it. It was very foundational for the genre. And it was fun. I enjoyed that book. 130 years ago or whatever that was written. It's interesting to watch the genre at its roots, at its infancy, and see where it's, what it's come to. Journey to the Center of the Earth, speaking of, like, pretty foundational sci-fi. I love this ace that I got, little pocket ace, but this was fun. I didn't enjoy it as much as I was hoping. It was a good book. I'm glad I read it. Dying Earth, Jack Vance. Really love this copy. I don't know why. It's pretty minimalistic, but this is fun. I think Vance will be somebody that I really try out soon. He was really cool. Wacky. Kornbluth. This is the only set of short stories, I think, that I read in this 25 book challenge, but I wanted to read a Kornbluth and I wanted to try short fiction just to see what I thought of it. Short science fiction, I should say. And he was really good. I have a ton more by him and Frederick Pohl, I want to say. Pohl Anderson. I get those two confused. Apologies for that. Yeah, Kornbluth was great. Neuromancer. This was probably the most challenging book I read. I still think about it a lot, and I want to read it again. I want to read more Gibson. I think he's back here behind me. I have Zero History, All Tomorrow's Parties. I think I have Count Zero in my closet. Yeah, Gibson the prose were off the charts. He was amazing. Dandelion Wine. My second Ray Bradbury, I read Fahrenheit 451 in high school. I realized that's not really science fiction. That was an awesome book, a beautiful book. I would very much recommend that to anybody, whether you like sci-fi or not. Childhood's End by good old Clarke, Arthur C. Clarke. That was, I really enjoyed that one. The reveal at the beginning, near the beginning, of what the aliens look like, that was one of the better moments in this top 25 book challenge because my jaw just, dropped. That was really cool. I have grown fond of this this physical book. It's pretty beat up, and it's the movie tie-in, you know. But Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? Philip K. Dick. It's the only book I've ever read by him, but I have a ton more back there. I got a collection of several more of his stuff, his books, and a few vintage paperbacks over there that I can't wait to read. I guess I can wait because I haven't opened them yet. Anyway, that book was tremendous. He was very much ahead of his time, and I think that that was a top 5 among these that I read. High Rise by Mr. J.G. Ballard. This was awesome, very spooky, really challenging as far as like the moral quandaries. Yep, I think I'm right. That one brought up, but the eeriness and the slow descent into madness that one presented was second to none. He's a great writer. This isn't the copy I read. I picked this up recently. Blood Music by Greg Bear. This book was awesome. I think everybody should read that book. That was one of the maybe the first one I read out of the whole 25 book challenge. It's been a long time, but awesome book. I didn't read the whole trilogy, but this is Foundation by Asimov. I have the second and third ones still remaining in this. My bookmark, you can see, is sitting in there. But that was the last one that I finished, the most recent one. So just a week or two ago, I finished that one. But anyway, that probably took up a few minutes of the video. I know myself and probably many others on BookTube, especially those of you that like vintage sci-fi, like to see old books, so I hope that was enjoyable. But I guess the point of this video, I've kind of rambled, I haven't really said anything. I've said a lot without saying anything. The point of this video is that what I learned after reading those and pushing through the ones I wasn't enjoying and flying through the ones that I loved was that reading is good for you. I know I already said that once, but I don't know if I'll do a challenge like that again for a while, because I think it'll be fun for me to just pick and choose what I like right now, do some buddy reads over the summer and whatnot. But I think that book buying and book reading and book discussion is becoming less and less of a daily thing for people. I think, there's people in my generation who have joined book clubs, there's been like a renaissance of Barnes and Noble, yada yada, that kind of thing, with a lot of the, I don't know what to categorize it as, but a lot of the books that have fantasy and smut elements to them, that's kind of revitalized book discussion online, more or less. And from my vantage point, that's not what I read. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I just think that what I've learned is I want to engage with other readers more, because I think that was something I loved to do in college when I was taking English classes, was when we would read a short story or we would read a novel and we would go into class and just talk about it. Those are some of the best moments of my life as a reader, because more and more you're just seeing people who they can't remember the last time they read a book, and that makes me sad. I think that it's such a valuable thing that we're losing as a society little by little, and I want to be a contributor to more readers and to more discussion, to more discourse. And is discourse the right word? Just more conversation around books, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of, the Heinlein's way down here. The Heinlein that I read, I hated it. I'm sure there are Heinlein fans out there. Maybe some of you are watching this video, and I want to know why you like Heinlein. I did not care for the book, and maybe that was just the book itself and not his other works, but you see where I'm going. it's a conversation that I think when you read a book, especially that you love, you want to tell somebody about it. You want them to read it. You know, but it's a time investment. Reading isn't, it's not like watching a TV show where you just throw it on and half an hour later, you can talk about the first episode. In a way, it is a little bit, but it takes a little bit more effort. Um, it takes a little bit more time invested, and it's something that I think people are less inclined to do, especially after getting off work or taking care of kids. It can be difficult, and so, you know, those of you that do love the stuff that I read, I want to engage with you on that stuff. I want to hear from you. What do you like to read so that I can be more informed on books that I have no idea about? I'd like to extend beyond the world of sci-fi. You know, I showed you these books, and the last year has been spent mostly in science fiction worlds, um, outer space, on other planets, in the future, in the far future, you know, the dying Earth, um, other dimensions. It's like that's where my mind has been, and I've really enjoyed my time doing that. But I think that my goal with this channel is to be a source of engagement. You know, I've learned that it's more fun that way. That's my thesis statement. It's more fun to read when you're talking about reading with others. So I'll probably end it there. This is going to just be one shot, one through. I ordered some equipment like a mic and a tripod, and I plan on, when the weather's nice, going out, shooting videos outside, talking about books I've read, discussing with you guys what I think of them, hopefully engaging positively in the comments with you guys, and I'm looking forward to that, because this is intended to be a fun outlet for me, and I just hope that you enjoy watching and following along. So anything down below that you want to tell me about what to know about starting a channel, what you'd like to see, it'd be helpful, and I'd like to hear from you. So anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video.